Welcome back, students, to the next session of complex sentences. Before we begin with this session, in which we'll be doing complex sentences with the help of adjective clause and adverb clause, let me just revise what are complex sentences. A complex sentence consists of one main clause and one or more subordinate clause. Subordinate clause stands for a dependent clause that is dependent for its full meaning to the main clause. For example, we went home when the sun set. If we see, there are two clauses here. We went home when the sun set. Now when we see we went home, it makes a complete sense. But when the sun set, it becomes your subordinate clause or a dependent clause. And this statement depends on the first part, that is, we went home. When did we went home? When the sun set. In this, we had already done the noun clause. What was a noun clause? A noun clause is a group of words which indicates the work done by a noun. We come in the next form is using adjective clause. An adjective clause is a group of words which contain a subject and a predicate and does the work of an adjective. Example, the pen has a red cap. Has a red cap is mine. Now here it speaks about what type of a pen which has a red cap, and that describes the pen, and hence it works as an adjective. Thus, two or more simple sentences can be combined into one complex sentence by introducing adjective clause using the words who, whom, whose, or which, where, and why. Examples. We deal with the examples here. The first example, she keeps her ornament in the safe. This is the safe. When we see in these two sentences, they both have their independent existence. But when we have to change these two simple sentences into a complex sentence, we do it as follow. This is the safe where she keeps her ornaments. The second example, my father met her son. He is now in America. My father met her son who is now in America. Again, when we see the first example, we have two simple sentences, but when we combine into one, we form a complex form, which is with the word who, and that becomes your relative pronoun. As we have seen, an adjective clause in a complex sentence is a subordinate clause, which does the work of an adjective and so qualifies some noun or pronoun in the main clause. An adjective clause is introduced by relative pronoun or by relative adverb. Example, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. He is a man whom we all respect. The time when the boat leaves is not yet fixed. The house where the accident occurred is nearby. The reason why I did it is obvious. Now when we see in these examples the word that, whom, when, where, why, they all are relative pronoun, and they introduce the dependent clause which acts as an adjective clause. There are few points which we deal when we are doing adjective clauses. Sometimes A relative pronoun introduces a coordinate clause as I met Rama, who gave me your message. Now here, who can be replaced by a coordinated clause, and it can be and he gave me your message. He is the boy who broke the window. Here we are using the relative pronoun that introduces a coordinate clause. In the first sentence, it might appear at the first glance that the clause who gave me your message is an adjective clause and therefore subordinate. It will be seen that this is not the case, and however, for it in no way identifies or describes Rama. In the second sentence, the clause who broke the window clearly identifies and describes the boy and is therefore an adjective clause. Under this, we have few examples. I met Mr. Joshi, who thereupon shook hands with me. The prisoner was taken before the captain, and the prisoner was taken before the captain, who condemned him to instant death. He gave me a message, which is this. He released the bird, which at once flew away. Now we begin with using of adverb clause in complex sentences. An adverb clause is a group of words which contain a subject and a predicate of its own and does the work of an adverb. Example: he finished first though he began late. Though he began late is an adverb clause. Thus, two or more simple sentences can be combined into one complex sentence by introducing adverb clauses and using subordinating conjunctions like if, since, because, unless, when, whose, through, which, until, before, as, that examples. We come to the simple form of sentence. I waited for my friend. I waited till he arrived. I waited for my friend until he came. If you see, until he came becomes our adverb clause. You are strong. I am equally strong. I am as strong as you are. Now, two simple sentences are combined into a complex with the use of an adverb clause. The next example, you will pass, work hard. You will pass if you work hard. We come to the next point, that is adverb clause of time are introduced by the subordinating conjunctions, which is from the words like whenever, while, after, before, since, as, etc. The first example, simple, in form of a simple sentence we have, I went there, the door was locked. When we form it into a complex form with an adverb clause, it becomes, when I went there, the door was locked. The next example with the simple sentence is, we got little rain this year, the crops have dried up. As we got little rain this year, the crops have dried up. The next, he has expressed his regret, we will forget about it. Since he has expressed his regret, we will forget about it. We come to the next form, which is your adverb clause of place. Adverb clause of place are introduced by subordinating conjunction where and whereas. Example, in simple form of a sentence we have it, I have put it, I can find it again. When we change it into complex, it is, I have put it where I can find it again. The next example, which is in simple form, he led the caravan he wanted to go. When we change it into a complex, he led the caravan wherever he wanted to go. In the next form of sentence, we have the simple one. You can put it in a place you like. You can put it wherever you like. Next, we come to adverb clause of purpose, which is introduced by the subordinating conjunctions so that, in order, that, and lest. We come to the first example, which is in a simple form. I will give you a map. You can find the way. When we change it into complex, it becomes I will give you a map so that you can find the way. The next is in simple. Put your warm clothes, you will catch a chill. Put on your warm clothes lest you should catch a chill. The next example under this, schools were closed early. Students may reach home before the thunderstorm. When we change it into complex form with the use of an adverb clause of purpose, schools were closed early in order that students might reach home before the thunderstorm. We come to the next form of adverb clause, which is adverb clause of reason or cause. Now, adverb clause of reason or cause are introduced by subordinating conjunction because, as, since, that, as. In simple form, we say, I sing, I like singing. I sing because I like singing. This becomes our complex sentence. In simple form, we have another example. He apologized. We will take no further action against him. We change it into complex. Since he has apologized, we will take no further action against him. The next example in the simple form is, he was not there. I left a message with his mother. As he was not there, I left a message with his mother. In the next form, we are going to deal with adverb clause of condition. Adverb clause of condition are introduced by subordinating conjunctions if, unless, whether. You heat ice, it melts. The simple form. When we change it into complex, it speaks, if you heat ice, it melts. The next example in the simple form is, work hard, you will not pass. You will not pass unless you work hard. That is your complex form of the sentence. The next simple form is, you will have to take the medicine, you like it or not. When we change it into complex, you will have to take the medicine whether you like it or not. Now we deal with the next form, that is adverb clause of result or consequence. Adverb clause of result or consequence are introduced by the subordinating conjunction that frequently so or such precedes it in the principal clause. In simple form, we have, she was weak, she could barely stand. She was so weak, she could barely stand. The next one, he spoke in low voice, few could hear him. He spoke in such a low voice that few could hear him. In the next form we come is adverb clause of comparison. Adverb form of comparison are of two kinds. Adverb clause of comparison of degree and adverb clause of comparison of manner. Adverb clauses of comparison of degree are introduced by the subordinating conjunction than or by the relative adverb as. Examples: she is older than her husband. He is as stupid as he is lazy. She is as beautiful as she is intelligent. Please note, in adverb clause of comparison of degree, the verb is usually understood and not expressed. Nobody loves you more than I. Nobody knows it better than he. You like curry better than I. Adverb clause of comparison of manner are introduced by the relative adverb as. Examples: you may do as I please. It all ended as I expected. As you have made your bed, so you must lie on it. The last part which we'll be dealing in this is adverb clause of supposition or concession. It is introduced by the subordinating conjunction though, although, even, if, as. I am poor, I am honest. Though I am poor, I am honest. He set sail, the storm threatened. He set sail, though the storm threatened. He is old, he is able to do great deal of work. Even if he is old, he is able to do a great deal of work. I forbade this, you have done it. Although I forbade this, you have done it. With this, we come to the end of this session of simple and complex sentences. We'll continue with the next session in the next class. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.